Blessings, quantum family. It's Jules, and I am so honored to have Christine Day with us today. I have to say, I've been reaching out to Christine for quite a while, wanting to have the opportunity to have this connection. And she was so gracious to make time in her busy schedule to allow this to happen. So, welcome, Christine. I'm so honored to have you here.
Thanks, Jules. It feels so important. The timing's perfect. And, it's wonderful to connect with you and to everyone else out there.
And this will be such a special time. I can already feel it. So I was talking before we got on how each interview is holding one of the codes, and the code that was randomly selected for Christine's interview was the 7, which is the teacher and the messenger. And so I would love to start with you kind of connecting in to what that means to you and just whatever comes through. This is a channeling experience. That is what the 7 is. And so I'm just going to let you connect to that frequency and whatever comes through.
I look at the image, Jules, and it touches my heart, brings a lot of emotion. And I have the Pleiadians here with a tremendous amount of love coming out, and it always brings emotion to me. Their love, it's unconditional love. And it's just flowing through me out to everyone here. And, the Pleiadians have asked me, I had my awakening with the Pleiadians nearly 30 years ago now, and it transformed my life. And they have been bringing these messages of bringing a clarity to humanity for us to understand our journey here. I was asked to become a bridge between the Pleiadians and humanity, and that is what I've been doing the last 30 years, is bringing the understanding and clarity of the enlightenment process of our own humanity, because the Pleiadians say just how important our humanity is, that we can't push our human side, our human part aside. I think the greatest teaching was to really come into an understanding of how perfectly imperfect we are as human beings, and how essential it is for us to really honor our uniqueness and our idiosyncrasies as human beings. And there was so many lies out there about we having to be perfect, become perfect in order to become enlightened. And the Pleiadians bring the message: in order to be enlightened, we have to accept our imperfection, not to become perfect, because that's not possible, but to accept our imperfection as a human being and come into a place of self-love and self-acceptance. And that is part of the enlightenment process. So it's been a great journey bringing through the teachings of the Pleiadians and really just getting rid of the myths and the mystery around enlightenment, and how really it's a simple process. And so my role has been to guide hundreds of students throughout the world towards their own, self-love and self-acceptance. And self-acceptance is self-love. So removing the burdens of trying to do it right, get it right, do it perfectly is what we need to do so we can liberate ourselves. Just liberate ourselves from the heaviness of the human journey, the judgment of our own human journey. Because really the Pleiadians say every decision we've made, every choice, every experience we've had has been perfect for our learning experience as a human being. So we can't have any shame or guilt about what we have done. We've done the best we could in each moment and had those experiences and created experiences for ourselves in order to learn. And I just love that. I love the self-liberation that comes when you move to a place of, it's really self-resurrection. And the Pleiadians say part of our mission on this lifetime is to resurrect ourselves, take ourselves off the cross. Like we've put ourselves on a cross for everything we've done or haven't done or said or haven't said, or all the things we should have done. And it's just been a perfect journey in order for us to have these experiences. And, you know, to me, that self liberation is everything. It transformed my life and allowed me to launch myself in so many different ways.
I love everything you said, and what keeps coming to me is it's all the distortion, right? And I see it as almost DNA distortion, is that we have been programmed to judge ourselves in the world, and it's all and creates this loop where we keep cycling in what's wrong with me. I need to fix myself in order to get somewhere. And when we really dial that in and we go to that place of sovereignty and calmness, and we actually connect to the frequency of what we're actually holding beyond that, everything opens up and clarity comes in. And that's what I was seeing as you were talking. I could just see all of that happening. I could see the experience in yourself. And I really do feel like this is the next in human evolution, is that we start tapping into that we are perfect. We are 100% perfect. It's the judgment of what we think is imperfect and perfect that keeps us cycling in an illusion of something else. I don't even
And,
know
you
if
know,
it made sense, but
well, it absolutely makes sense. And the Pleiadians honor our courage. They celebrate our humanity, and they've learned about humanity through me because we've had a very intimate connection for 30 years. My Pleiadian family are all around me, and they have really, empowered me. They're Pleiadians about self-empowerment and the energy of reconnecting to our sacred natures. And that's a lot of the work I do in the world, is bring people back into alignment to their their sacred power. The power's all in the heart space, and the ego mind is the illusion, the struggle, the fear, the old belief systems that we've come in. And the Pleiadians say we will be successful in this lifetime to move from a place of being human, moving back into our sacred natures, still having the human experience. What I've noticed in myself as I've evolved and come into my enlightenment process is that my human part, yes, it helps me in my third dimensional world, organizing, making shopping lists, adding things up, but it doesn't control my life. It doesn't make my life decisions. My sacred nature, which is very much in the front these days, I'm in that space of oneness most of the time, with my human part feeling the love and support from that sacred love that I am, that wholeness that I am, and it gets fortified and heals as I can love myself more and more completely. And that's the evolution. That is our mission for this lifetime, to move from a human experience coming back into our sacred nature and still having the human component. And it's those of us in human form. We have to be those in human bodies, are the ones to transform planet Earth. We're to come together in a collective energy through our hearts and re-anchor these sacred forms on Earth for the transformation of humanity and to transform Earth and the consciousness of Earth. And the Pleiadians, I work with the angelic realms and all the light beings and the masters, they're here to hold the platform, an energetic platform, but we are to be the ones to create the change. And that's the beauty of this. We come into that self-empowerment.
yes. So I want to reflect something here. I've always, the saying that, oh, we're spiritual beings here to have a human experience. I believe that that's true up to the point where you just brought this. Then once I feel like once we have the awareness that we're more than the human experience, that we become the evolved human, and we start to focus on what are we when we let go of the wounds? What are we when we actually become that sacred part of us 100%? And that's my passion, is what's next, right? Like once we master the human experience, let's master what we really are on a sacred level.
Well, you see, the next step is for Earth to evolve and rejoin the rest of the universal community. And that's where I'm working right now with a core group of people who have evolved past their story, the human story, no longer say, I am that story, and let go of the story and come back into the refinement of the sacred that they are, to your own unique divine frequency, and start activating directly from that, living from that. And it's living through the sacred heart. That's where all our links to our sacredness exist, is here. So instead of being here, you work directly from here, and everything arises. We are the center of the universe from this heart space. Our own unique divine heart frequency is unique throughout the whole universe, and we are recognized through that unique vibration of our heart. And so when we move out into the universal connection, Earth then rejoins the universal community. And that's why it's so important that Earth transform now. This is our destiny. And the rest of the universe is coming in to help, because the moment Earth transforms from a third dimensional planet to that fourth, fifth dimensional consciousness, then the whole universe transforms. You see, and Earth is the last planet to achieve that. Not that it's a bad thing, we're on time. The Pleiadians actually say we're ahead of time. And you look out into the world and look at all the chaos and the drama, but that has no relevance to what is actually happening. That's just more of the illusion, the play out, the final play out of all the drama. And so we arise into the universe, and what the Pleiadians call the God seat of power oversees this resident universe. And our planet Earth has already started, the magnetic core is starting to vibrate the same pulse as the rest of the universe for the very first time. This has happened as we moved into 2023 and expanded again just a few days ago at New Year. So all the energetic framework is transforming in Earth right now, and will continue to, of course, and accelerate through this year. But each person, each one of us is that unique jewel. And our unique framework, that vibrancy of our heart cells, goes to contribute to the collective God consciousness state. You know, each one of us is that important. And if the Pleiadians have given me anything, is a deep respect for my own sacred being and the importance of my unique vibration, not just mine, everyone else's. We're all capable, we all carry that frequency, that sacredness. It's very, very unique, very, very special, and required. We are required, not only here on earth, but within the universal framework.
What I honor in what you just said, and I hope that everybody could feel how powerful that share was, is where in your life are you giving away your power when the opportunity is there for you to rest in that sacred space? Because that awareness changes everything, and I know that it has for you, and it has for me as well. And I have a
Mhm.
saying that when we honor ourselves, everybody wins. And we could even say when we honor ourselves, the universe wins. And I feel like that is the first step of change, not just in the self, but for everyone. Well, I would love to just reflect on that a little bit deeper, because I know that that's a huge hang up for so many people that have created choices to please others for such a long time. that to start choosing themselves can create a lot of chaos.
It can create a lot of fear too, because we come from these old patterns, these cycles of self sabotage. We've learned to please others in order just to be loved, to survive. And we need to move out of that survival state. And that comes moment by moment. It's like choosing to doing something differently just one time in one moment, Jewel, shifts every cell in your body. Every cell transforms when you choose to do something differently. And it takes courage. And you might have one moment where you can totally honor yourself and do it differently, and then another moment where you just give away your power one more time. But it's not about beating yourself up about that. It's about saying, oh my gosh, but that other moment, I was able to do it differently. And that's what people need to understand. It's in the moment, just in one moment of time, doing it differently, not just changing it all at once. You can't. Because we're imperfect, we're vulnerable, we have vulnerabilities, idiosyncrasies from our past. And in that one moment at a time, one moment in one day, you choose to stand up for yourself. In that moment, the cycle shifts within you and you never are the same again. You may do it again, but you don't do it the same way, not as completely. So you chip away at those little pieces. And it's about doing a work of art on yourself, revealing yourself just one chip at a time. And that's what I did. I mean, the Pleiadians showed me the way. They did their love, their compassion for me allowed me compassion for myself, and understanding how I was holding so much struggle and fear. I mean, I came from a background of cult ritual abuse. So I was, a destroyed human as far as my own power goes. So I didn't have an easy path, and many of us haven't. It's kind of the wounds of the healer. I had to bring myself from that really struggling, exhausted, just someone who didn't have any faith in myself, any sense of myself, back to a vibrant, joyful, unique, alive being. I was more in death than life. I'd given all my power away. So I do understand the journey. And people might think, well, I've had this and I've had that. None of us have suffered more or less than another. We've just suffered differently. Suffering can't be measured. And it's just part of the journey. It's about stepping forward and just slowly bringing yourself back home to yourself, by standing up for yourself, speaking your truth every now and again, breathing and feeling. It brings fear when you start to change. It's like the ego mind has alarm bells. So I used to go, my body would be just racked with fear because I'd be changing things. And then I learned that fear was just a feeling. Fear used to be a red light to stop me, and it would make me freeze. And then I decided to reprogram myself and make fear a green light that means go. And the stronger the fear, more excited I got because it meant I could do more. This was much more important for me to move forward and make it a green light. So I got excited by that feeling. And pretty soon the fear melted away, and my life transformed and I transformed. It was like being resurrected from the ashes, but I was able to resurrect myself. And actually we can only resurrect ourselves. No one else can do that for us. And this is the beautiful piece, that we've come here to do this, a sacred work. And it makes me emotional because it's such a beautiful feeling, that self-liberation. That self-liberation is everything. And you get to find that it's you with yourself in your own power. And we're capable of doing anything, of creating magic with the power, the inner power of our hearts, and that's everything.
Yes. I want to go back to you reprogramming your fear, because I have a saying with, I say this to my kids all the time: if you're comfortable, you're not doing it right. You should always be pushing yourself into the uncomfortable. So it's kind of another way of saying that. But I love that you used the word reprogram, because I feel like, and I've heard you say a couple of times when we choose our heart, our sacred heart, that our cells change. I want to move into those two, how those two are connecting, because that's such a huge part of what the people who are listening are very interested in, is reprogramming on a cellular level and what that's actually doing. So I'd like to just open it up there and see what the message
Well,
is.
the important thing about understanding reprogramming is it's not affirmations. It has nothing to do with the ego mind and making these statements. It's like, that's way over there. That has no relevance. What the relevant piece is, that when you come home to your heart, what that means is placing a hand on your heart, bringing your awareness there. This is the link into your intuitive sacred nature. And every moment you put your hand there and bring your awareness there and take a breath, that creates the cellular change for the old belief systems and creates a shedding of the old struggle, all the illusion. The old parts of your persona start to fall away. So there's an automatic cellular shift. There's a transmitter in every one of our cells that starts to turn on and starts to pulse every time we link into our hearts. Because what happens is the heart cells, the cells in the body recognize the frequency of your sacred heart, your unique sacred intelligence, actually. That's what I call it, sacred intelligence. And that then starts to create the pulse in the transmitter in the cells. It starts to pulse the frequency of your sacred intelligence. First through your body, and that's really important right now, because it rejuvenates and regenerates the cells in your brain, in your brain synapses, through your spinal column, through the sacrum, through the heart. They're the sacred systems. And so you start to, it's like turning on a light switch. You put electricity through a house, you have to turn the light switch on and all the lights come on. It's just like that, re-engaging your sacred system, which is your higher intelligence, to go on. Now I am active, your magic. And if you do that once a day for 1 minute, it's accumulative every time you do it. Then you start to shift into being that sacred energy that you are. It starts to embody through here. And because we have a crystalline structure in the space between the cells, the crystalline structure came in on 11-11-11, and it was switched on 12-12-12. And everyone being born now has been born with their crystalline structure turned on in place. What does this mean? It means that the light, our higher intelligence, our higher self, is very electrical in nature, intense electrical vibration. It means that electrical vibration of our higher self can actually be in this physical form. We can house our higher light, all of it, not just a bit of it, all of it, so that we can walk around as sacred beings in this physical body active. And so you start to create that rejuvenation, recalibration process through your systems just by this simple action, 1 moment at a time. You can do it once a day, you can do it throughout the day. It's up to you, but that is the key piece. to shifting the dynamic of, it's like switching systems from your human ego mind to your heart sacred intelligence. And you become that. And the Pleiadians' greatest saying, which I love, is you are who you've been waiting for.
I love that. I love that.
Because it's what I love, Jules, is that I don't depend on anyone else but myself. This is me rebirthing me. And for me, that's everything, you know?
There's no better empowerment to know that you are the way, right? Not you, but you, the me.
Yes.
We are our own way, and everything that we need is already inside of us. And I love how you said that we're turning on this other, I call it turning on the other 90% of our human.
Sacred, the sacred system.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
sacred system. So I call it the quantum body. I call it's in the frequency. And I love that you used intelligence because that's what I use. I call it source intelligence that is turning on inside of us. And then we get to consciously attune to that intelligence to find our innate being, and that it starts in the quantum heart. So I just like, this is our first conversation, and there's so many things that you're saying that I receive such similar information. So what I love about this, Christine, is that we're proving that the intelligence is an intelligence. And we all have the consciousness to attune to what that intelligence is saying. And there will come a day that we're all hearing almost the exact same thing. I mean, that's the
That's
one.
the telepathic communion, Jules, that comes from a collective energy in the heart space, you know, and the sacred energy of our hearts, that unique vibration that we all carry, they can join together collectively and form these incredible energetic spaces that can be anchored here on earth. And that's what I'm currently working with in conjunction with the galactic community, is working with a core group of people. The galactic community is saying we can hold the platform, but you in human form are the ones to anchor these sacred forms in 2024. And so there's this core group coming together that feel destined to be part of that. And we bring the collective energy of our heart frequency and create these forms and anchor them in the earth. And this is part of the mission I have for this year.
So I just have to share some, and nobody knows this yet, so I'm kind of breaking the sacred code here, but so last year I did using the 12 codes through the DNA. I did through 12 vortexes of the earth, but we brought the vortexes into the body so that we could dissolve the separation from the earth and our humanity. This year, I'm going to do it through the stars. So ascending the separation from, and how we're creating timelines and distortion of our separation there. So I just wanted to share it because it feels like it has somewhat of a similar energy.
It does. And they, you know, collectively, we're all doing our own pieces, that there's no separation, there's only oneness between us. And we're all on the same path of commitment to fulfill our work. But the work's not separate at all, it's a collective. And that's the sacred part of it. And that's the beauty, the love, the loving vibration. It's truth and love in being made manifest between us without the words, but it's taking place. And that needs to be acknowledged and really anchored.
I feel such a connection to what you just said, because sometimes I feel it's already done and we're playing it out, right? And
It's already done. It's
we're just
already
having fun.
no such thing as time. So yes, it's already in place, but we have to go through the motions of what we said we will do when we get here. and fulfill the commitment, because we haven't had the direct experience of it yet. And that is part of the rebirthing of consciousness for Earth. And we carry that blueprint between us.
It's amazing. It is, it really kind of blows my mind. I just love having these conversations, and it's such a connection. It's such a deep connection. And I hope that everyone that's listening feels how sacred this space that's been created here is. And I knew crystals were going to come in at some point. So when you were bringing in the crystals that are between the cells, and I I don't even know what I'm saying. I think I'm just really blown away in a really beautiful way, and that doesn't happen very often. I don't get blown away very often. And so I want to thank you for showing up in your brilliance, Christine, because you are doing amazing work. And sometimes it's just nice to hear that, but I just want to reflect that to you, that thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thanks, Jules. And you know what? It's like we do our work tirelessly with total commitment, and I feel that in you. And so we know what that is. It's just one natural step after another. You don't question, you just keep moving forward, allowing the guidance, the unfolding with total commitment. And that's a gift, to be talking with someone on the same level that's doing the same things. It's a lot. It's a lot, but it's nothing. In one thing, it's nothing, and another thing, it's enormous, because we are human, and we are unfolding in our humanity. We are, you know, elevating ourselves, launching ourselves daily. But it's still, as a human being, it's a lot, especially being out in the world and understanding where we are living here on this planet, and holding the path, and the platforms that we need to do for others.
So beautiful. I have to say, I'm just kind of speechless right now. And I can feel just a really intense energy that's coming in to my heart space. And I can always tell when that happens that, oh, great, now I'm going to have something more come in. I'm sure you know that feeling.
Oh,
But
I know that feeling.
I would like to turn it to you. And if there's some sort of process or something that you feel is important that you would like to share that we haven't said, I want to open up the space to let you kind of tune in to see if there's a direction it needs to go now.
Well, I think there could be a process, a short process. The Pleiadians want to channel in some frequencies. I bring it in through a frequency of sound. And it would really support people in aligning to another level within their own sacred heart. So maybe we could do that for a few minutes,
I'd
if
love
that's okay. And there's a sacred sound the Pleiadians want everyone to bring into their hearts. The sacred sound they're going to give, when you make that sound, you or anyone else, you make a unique sound that only your heart cells respond to. So they turn on, they switch on with the sound. So the sound they want to give is Sanate. So I'm just going to just bring it in a few times so you can just hear it. Sanate. 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 Now you out there are going to bring in your sound just the way you need to bring it in. You can say it, you can sing it, but bring both palms of your hands to rest on the upper chest, because this is your heart space, and we know it goes well beyond the physical body. Bring your awareness to where you feel the warmth or the pressure of your hands on your heart. And what I want you to do is take what the Pleiadians call a conscious breath. It's a breath in the mouth and out the mouth. And you place it like a soft wind right into your heart cells. A shata ine a she o me she o me a she o. A she o me she o me she o. I'm just going to bring a sound in. Now just let your awareness open through the space of your heart that you see, sense, or feel. Just let your awareness open, like you would open your awareness. That's it. Take another conscious breath in the mouth, out the mouth. Place it into the space that you see, sense, or feel. A shata ine a. A she o me she o me she o. That's it. Now you're going to bring that sacred sound, sanate, sanate, 3 times directly into your heart cells. You're going to do that now. Sanate, sanate, sanate. Now let your awareness open a little further, whether you see, sense, or feel the space that's opening of your heart. Or gently, slowly lift your hands slowly off your chest. It's like releasing a veil from your heart, like a curtain of a stage just coming away, just pulling your hands slowly away from your heart space. And a veil lifts or a curtain parts. And bring your awareness through the space of the opening that you see, sense, or feel. Just let your awareness go through the space. Now bring your sound, sanate, right into that space. 3 times. Sanate, sanate, sanate. That's it. Open your awareness. Take another conscious breath. In the mouth, out the mouth. That's it. Letting go. Choosing to let go within the space that you see, sense, or feel. Shata ine a she o me she o. Said open your awareness, take one more conscious breath and let go. Shata I she om dai ine a. She om she o. She o. Gently, slowly bring your awareness in both palms of your hands right into your heart, into that upper chest. Feeling, seeing, sensing the essence of your heart's light. Opening and anchoring down into your heart space. Shata I. She om. She o. She o. So be it.
Speechless. I don't know what to say. I hope everybody could feel the power in that. And I kind of want everyone to stay there.
Mhm.
I do want to connect people with you though. So can you let us know if people do want to connect with you and be updated with what you have going on? It's Christine Day online, is that correct? Yeah.
.com, yes.
And that'll
Thank
be
you, Jill.
as well. It'll be in the show notes there. And is there anything you would like to say to bring this full circle?
Just remember, you are who you've been waiting for. And it's time to come back home to yourself. So be it.
So be it. So be it. We love you, everyone that's listening, and we hope that this opened your heart to yourself and your own empowerment in a very sacred space and that source intelligence that's awakening within you. And I suggest going back and listening to this process again when you need to feel uplifted or shifted. Thank you, Christine, for bringing your brilliance and your gifts and your love to us. We love you.
Thanks, Jules. Much love to everybody. Blessings.